Hey there YouTube, welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. So today we'll be doing the next step of the rust repair, and that's I want to try hitting it with a little bit of this 2K Aero Spray clear coat. This has got a high gloss finish. So mostly this is an experiment just to see how this winds up going. This is kind of cool because essentially it's two components. So you've got your clear coat plus a hardener, and then you'll take that cap, put it on the bottom part, smash it down, it'll release the catalyst or the hardener into the can, and then you've got a short amount of time in order to spray it. So depending on how conditions are, depends on how long it'll last. I think they say about 48 hours. So yep, it says once activated, the pot life is about 48 hours. So theoretically we'd have 48 hours from starting it. So if I had other projects to do, which I kind of do, but I'm not going to be able to get them ready soon enough. So this will be a big experiment to see how this winds up turning out. And what I want to do is just hit this with it. I want to see kind of how much build there is to the clear coat. Also how flat the clear coat lays. So like how smooth it winds up laying down. Because with it being a rattle can, and especially if it's one that they're saying it sprays as good as a paint gun, it could be, like something really serious and major that, hey, instead of doing this or doing that, you can use this rattle can and away you go. So first, we'll hit this down with some So to basically try and clean this up, get all the excess that is still on here of the rust converter. And then we'll hit it with a couple coats of this and see how it goes. So almost got it all the way worked off. It's just kind of rolling up, kind of like almost like an adhesive. This is all cleaned up. It's about as much as I could get off of it. I'm assuming anything that's left is like the sand scratches I left. And I've got it kind of taped up and then blocked off with some cardboard boxes, because inevitably wherever you think paint's going to go, it's going to overspray everywhere. Not always, but sometimes. So it's one of those things where sometimes it'll spread out and go beyond where you thought it was going to go, especially if you use like a proper painting technique, which I'll show you here in just a second, because you wind up spraying quite a lot into the taped off areas. And then similar to a paint gun type spray, this stuff's pretty nasty stuff, so be sure you're wearing the proper PPE to keep yourself safe. First step is shake the can for about 2 minutes to make sure everything's all nice and loose. Then you remove the red button from up here. Put the can on a semi-hard surface. Because you're going to put the cap right on that end there. You're supposed to push down on this pretty hard. That way the cap helps to pierce the inside activator chamber. So, push down hard. You pop the cap out of the top, flip it upside down, set the cap there, and push down. I'm pretty sure I felt it go down. Oh, there we go. So that definitely fell all the way down. And then you shake it for a while. You shake it for about 2 more minutes. Now granted, this pretty much sets up. So now you've got your 48 hours from now. And then from what I was Googling online, this should flash in about 5 to 10 minutes. So you can do coats, like the next coat, in about 5 to 10 minutes. Whereas it takes about 48 hours for it to cure, like fully. So essentially, you'll hold this about 10 to 12 inches away from what you're painting. Spray it. And then wait. What we'll do is we'll get a quick spray pattern on the cardboard, just to see what it kind of looks like. And then when you actually go to spray, what you want to do is you want to start spraying off of what you're looking to actually paint, drag all the way through and across, and then continue to spray a little bit off of what you're looking to paint again. So essentially, I'll be starting to spray over here, moving across, and spraying all the way to here, even though I'm only painting this small little section here. All right, and I said that first because I didn't know how well it sounded in the respirator. But like, hey, you kind of sound like boom. Oh, that was kind of bad. Oh, don't do impressions. All right, so spray pattern check. Okay. Here's the clear coat, and it actually came out really, really good, despite like the inside of here, this room. So the garage is super duper dusty, and I didn't super prep this. I also didn't like filter the air in any way, shape, or form. So there's a fair amount of dust blowing around, and this sprayed really easy. So I did those 3 coats. So the quick kind of like tack coat, the second one a little bit heavier, and then the third one that I did kind of a 50% overlap, and you can see it came out pretty good. There's some weird junk in there, but for the most part, I would say this did really, really well. So this isn't at all a reflection of, you know, how good this is. This was an experiment that I wanted to see how this would lay out. It laid out really nice and smooth. So really, with proper prep, maybe a fan to filter the air in here and stuff. So like having like a home furnace filter on it might help with that. But what I wanted to see was how much build I would get. And I have this taped up a little bit extra heavy because I'm going to do some sanding. But you can see right there is the seam. And those 3 builds are enough you can kind of catch it with your fingernail just a little bit. So I really like how that went. And it really makes me kind of confident to try and use it in the future. And then what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little bit of 1200 grit just to go over this lightly to see how much of this bump and bubbles and stuff like that I can kind of semi knock down before I move on to the next step that I'm going to do. So just mist it real quick with a little bit of water. All right. We'll run over it real quick with a microfiber towel. So similar to how we did the headlights, this sanded area will be like kind of gray. So you can really kind of see the high spots and the low spots. So from the initial grinding where I knocked off a lot of the larger flaky rust pieces to the rust converter to this clear coat, you can see there's some pretty decent valleys. So I'm going to sand this a little bit more, see if I can't get the valleys knocked down just a touch more. So you can see it looks a little rough from the sand scratches. Luckily, I've got a little bit of stuff left from when we did the 3M headlight. I'm just going to throw a little bit of the compound on there. Buff it real quick. See how she looks. Alright, so quick once over with the compound. That looks pretty good. So it took a bunch of the sand scratches out. And a lot of these little dimples are fairly shallow now. They're still there, but I kind of want them to be because of the experiment that I'm trying to do with this. So that pretty much completes the fixing of this rust. So this is all converted, clear coated, and then slightly polished. In the next video, we're going to cover it up. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll check you next time.